Hey, what's up? HG3 here.
In ManteXD.
I wish I was doing this video alone. Hey, what's up? HG3 here.
In ManteXD.
And we're here to answer your questions from our first ever Q&A video. So the first question comes from Zachary Ferretti. He says this game allows you to build deck sizes from 25 to 40, but there's no incentive to ever have more than 25. How would you like to see CDPR implement mechanics or game types that encourage larger decks for more variety of play and win condition?
Well, one of the quick answers to that is very simple. They can make a card that increases the strength according of how many cards you have left on your deck. This way, they will actually encourage people to have larger decks and not just in the deck to win.
Round 1, instant play, 40 strength card.
I mean, well, you could do it like over time, not necessarily like at once. It can be like a mini Katakan.
It's actually impossible because you draw 10 cards. So it'll be round 1 instant play, 30 strength card maybe.
I guess. How else can you do it?
Well, if they scaled the amount of silvers and golds you could use based on whatever threshold you hit, then perhaps people would have to consider making larger decks. Like if at 35 cards in the deck you get to use 1 extra gold slot and 1 extra silver slot, then I think it would be a discussion to see if, hey, can I make this work? I don't think the game is necessarily balanced around anything more than 25 cards right now.
That's a really fair point, and I like that idea.
Well, I don't know if I would like it that much, because it does create an issue. And then eventually I feel like everyone's going to settle into the same number. Like, 25 is a good number and seems comfortable, and I think a lot of people would not take the deal to stay at 25. Maybe some people would take it, depending on how the decks work out. Maybe if you're doing some muster or something crazy like that, you can put in more cards.
Okay.
That's a possibility. And then in terms of how they might implement different game modes, maybe if you had like a match where it was like a for fun game mode that goes like best of 5 instead of best of 3, then you'd have an incentive to have more cards in your deck because you'd just be overdrawing forever. So there's some potential there. Like, we don't know why it's set at best of 3. Couldn't it go to a 5th round potentially where you need to win 3 of them? Yeah, 3 is just the arbitrary number that was attributed to the game in The Witcher. So if you want to have alternative game modes, like, there's loads of possibilities. And in those instances, of course, deck size can be an interesting variable to take into account.
Also, I just realized maybe the deck size is also for the single player that is about to come. And there you go.
And there you go.
There you go. It's simple. To me, makes sense, you know?
Yeah, because people in single player are going to want to play really bad 40-card decks.
Because we don't know the mechanics. Perhaps there is like a boss that will start draining your deck or stuff like that. The possibilities are just...
Vampire boss. He's going to start draining your deck. You heard it here. These are not... Oh my god, this stream is supposed to be leak-free.
Oh my god.
All the secrets revealed. Watch out for the vampire deck that drains your deck. Oh, ManteXD. You're banned.
Oh, either that or I just created a fantastic boss fight.
If any of the viewers know anyone from CD Projekt Red, make sure to report ManteXD directly to them. We will not stand for this injustice. Next question is from John Doe. John Doe sounds like a dead person.
Okay.
Isn't John Doe what you call the corpses that are unidentified at like the morgue or at the hospital? We got a John Doe.
I have no idea how you come with this information, but I'm going to go with it. All right, go on.
I can't believe you don't know this. I'm pushing this into Google.
Okay.
The name's John Doe.
Great Q&A, dude.
The names are also used to refer to a corpse or a hospital patient who's How did you not know that? Have you never watched an action movie in your life? We got a John Doe down in the emergency room entrance.
What kind of movies do you watch?
Non-responsive. Like... Oh my god. You need to watch more stuff.
All right, okay. I'll get out more.
Okay, John Doe says, I want to know why you all decided to start up this channel, how the hosts were decided, and are you happy with the direction your channel is going? And what is your goal as this channel? That is a loaded question.
Yeah.
I think I need to talk to my lawyer before we answer this.
Go ahead. You start with that.
We decided that we were going to go ham and Gwent during The Witcher 3, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So when we heard the announcement, we got super excited, probably too excited, because we actually had a friend come by. He's like, I got a surprise for all you. And he was actually joking he didn't have a surprise. And we were like, oh, maybe it's like Gwent keys are coming out or something.
Oh my god!
Because he has some connections in the industry. It had nothing to do with that. So like we were way too hype on the hype train. We were like front two seats in the train, and like it derailed several times because obviously when you're anticipating something so heavily and it's not coming, you just like set yourself up to be let down on several occasions.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, my reflexes are going down by quite a lot, and I decided, shooter games are not my thing. So why not a card game?
Yeah, some people question if your reflexes were ever good to begin with. Those of us that have been here playing with him in MOBAs and shooting games.
That's part of the questions? Are those part of the questions?
Yeah, he actually
has.
Who
That question?
He actually has.
Oh my... John, though, come on, dude, exposing me right here.
How do you keep getting benched in every single game? The hosts were decided because me and Manty decided to do it together, so we ended up being the two hosts. I don't want to say anything. It's awkward timing for us. The channel is going to take a little bit of a different direction, but I think we're pretty happy with the general direction. We want to be an all-purpose service for Gwent, provide content for everyone we can, but just because of our interest being mainly in the competitive aspect of the game, we're likely going to overproduce for competitive related content. And I think that's okay because I think a lot of people are interested in that. So if that's what you're really into, and if you want to learn from competitive content, even if you're a beginner, I find learning from competitive content to be maybe even a little bit more enjoyable than some deliberate beginner content sometimes. Of course, it depends on what exactly you're trying to learn. But I definitely recommend trying it out. And that's pretty much the direction's going to be probably moving towards more competitive as more tournaments pop up and some secret things start happening and stuff like that. Any last comments, Manty?
No, just I wanna run this channel and everything like the opposite how I run my life, with integrity and respect.
True.
Yeah.
On a more goofy note, he says, if you were shrunken down to the size of a pencil and put into a blender, how would you get out before you chopped into pieces? Keep up the good work and can't wait to the future. Oh, that's very nice of you to say at the end. Right after you throw us into a blender, after turning us into a pencil. This is like the plot of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids #7 or something. I'm pretty sure I saw this in the movie theaters. If we answer this, we might get copyright stricken, but we'll do it. How would you get out of the blender, Manty?
Oh my god, that's a difficult one. Like, my very first instinct is like, definitely cannot go up because, it will start blending and the suction will grab you back in. So I'm like, maybe if I grab up a blade, it could actually, like, but definitely,
That sounds like the worst strategy. Like,
dude, it depends.
Whirling, spinning death blades. You're going to try and grab one of them?
I don't know. Dude, think about it. If you're that small, there is no way you're going to get out in time. All right? And they're probably going to put something on top of the blender, right?
I don't know. I've never seen a blender that is wide enough where a pencil doesn't go across it. So you just have to you have to pretend it's like 2009 and start planking your way up the blender.
Look, that's so 2016. The new strategy is you grab to the blade and you go with it, dude.
Okay, if I ever end up in a blender, I am not going to team up with you. Find someone else, maybe John Doe. Hopefully this isn't how he became John Doe. A tragic incident with the blender. Next up we have Jessa Mean. She asks, who are your favorite characters in the Witcher world and why?
Alright. Mine, actually, it's Johnny. And the reason why it's Johnny is because my wife is a speech therapist. I know, right? I know. And the thing is that she saw the trailer first, the gameplay first, for how Geralt helps Johnny find his voice. And I fell in love with the game. I saw that gameplay one day before The Witcher 3 came out, and I fell in love with the game. And it was everything because of Johnny.
Johnny's okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he's cool, dude.
He's okay.
He loves to take a dump to the sunset, dude.
I have to admit, I'm a total oddball hipster weirdo when it comes to liking characters in TV shows and games. I tend to not like main characters 90% of the time, and then in The Witcher, for whatever reason, and I know a lot of people are gonna freak out, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I've never been good at biting my tongue. Triss is my favorite character, so
Oh,
there
I'm
you
out.
go, world.
I'm out. I'm done. Okay, well, thank you for the time, guys. I really appreciate you being here. See you guys later.
And I knew he would be the most pissed because it's not that I think Triss is like the best girl for Geralt or anything. I don't think she's number one girl. She's not Chitoge. But I really like her character, and Yennefer's great. And on a one-to-one basis, Yennefer and Geralt probably belong together because they're both just really odd people. But I like Triss. I don't know why. I can't explain it.
Okay. You like strawberries? I understand. I respect that.
I don't even have like a particular affinity for redheads, but for whatever reason, she's cool. She's like
Not gonna
she's
lie.
like badass in charge, and like when I got her in the ending, I was like, this is nice. I'm happy.
No, I see. And my ending, I got nobody. I got nobody.
Spoilers, by the way. Also, are you starting to come over now to Triss's side? Did I sway you?
No, definitely not. Jen is the only team. Team Jennifer only.
The second part of her question was, what are your favorite cards and card arts? So what do you got to say?
My favorite card is, well, my favorite card is Ogfist. I love the way Ogfist plays. I know that it's a lot of hate and controversy going on with Ogfist. As a matter of fact, I believe that he's a casualty of war, but that's for another video. And my favorite artwork, hands down, Coral. I think she's the most beautiful card in the entire Gwent.
My favorite card used to be Iglace, but now she's a little too popular. But I'll still stick with her because she's so good. Like, versatility is probably my favorite thing. And she looks sick. So, like, I could almost give her the 2-for-1. But I love Milva's art. I think Milva's, like, an action shot. And, like, it just, like, reeks of, like, desperation in that picture. And I really like the way it looks. I think a lot of the art in the game is looking good. And I can't wait to see if, like, they venture into alternative arts and explore some more options with that as well. Zach Melfard asks, do you think that the subreddit may affect card balance and balance decisions more than it should, causing knee-jerk balances from CDPR such as Aqua's nerf that is coming?
Oh, okay, so it's not for another video, it's for another question. All right. Okay. I think that CDPR is doing a good job at listening to the community. And sometimes if there is different opinions that have to be respected and everything, but not because it's an opinion, it's not necessarily correct. This is where the people who have the experience and play this game and constantly check, rank and ladder can actually voice their opinion and explain to others why their opinion might be wrong. Like as I say, Ogvis is a casualty of war. It's a casualty of war, and I'll tell you why. Because if you take off Ogvis and you don't buff Skellige, Skellige's gonna be gone. Like right now, Skellige relies on Ogvis just to work as a faction. And if you take that away from them, goodbye, my old friends.
Reddit will tend to echo the opinion of the mass of players that exists in the middle of the MMR ranges. Therefore, that will also be shown in the data collected by CD Projekt Red. Because Reddit, the stuff that's more visible, is visible because it's getting more upvotes. It's the bulk of players. So when there's an issue like PFI feels like it's super broken, Reddit's going to absolutely run train on that. And that will be reflected in the data. And if CD Projekt Red are balancing based off of data, taking in mass, then it's probably going to be similar to what Reddit wants to happen. So we'll see if that's how they always do it, if they want to alter it. I think in some cases, the knee-jerk reactions on Reddit can be detrimental. I think Skellige got over-nerfed because they were balanced for the middle of bracket. If they were balanced from the top 1%, they didn't need to get hit as hard this past patch. But you can't necessarily balance the game at the top level because then you're neglecting a whole bunch of players that might have just fundamental problems with the way that things are played in the game that turns them off. And if that's your main player base, because the top 1% is not your whole player base. It's just a small, tiny sample. If that's your player base, then you want to cater to your player base sometimes, and you want to see if you can resolve the issues they're having. Barney Webb asks, what can the Nilfgaard leader ability bring to a deck? It is C2 random cards in an opponent's hand. Seems like it lends itself to taking big risks like an early pass and control decks. Go for it, Manti.
Well, what can that bring? We already know that they're passive, correct? So with their passive, maybe you can change and adjust things with that hero ability and just kind of try to adapt. Also, you can give a lot of value to Francesca. And, um, but no, it also depends on what the other cards will bring. So far as we know, only know that. We do not know the Nilfgaard as a whole. So we have to kind of wait and see how they work in order for me to properly judge that and assess that question properly.
That's what I think too. Is that in isolation, being able to see two cards out of your opponent's hand is like not good, because I can tell you the two cards in my opponent's hand with perfect accuracy, like 90% of the time. I can tell you what most of their hand is. There's tells in the game that as you play more, like when you see the number of cards that Brewer shows when he goes to select a card, that tells you a ton of information. When you're paying attention to the spells that are out of your opponent's deck, ton of information. You could tell with relative certainty. There's only 25 cards in the game, 10 are drawn on the first hand. So in isolation, it's not a great ability. But if Nilfgaard comes in with a set that can affect these cards, or they can gain something from seeing cards, then maybe it has some potential. I think you're right, Manti. I don't think we could judge it until we see what the Nilfgaard set looks like. And if it plays off of it well, then it could be a cool ability. If it doesn't, then it might be the way of King Bran. And adios.
Oh, well.
Adam Kangaroo asks, what card is the most broken at the moment, in your opinion?
I got it. I got this. Easy peasy. The Baron.
Even though Northern Realms is not the top faction, you think that Baron can still be the most broken card?
Yes. I believe the versatility of Baron it's out of hand. Okay? You can play it in so many different ways and achieve its purpose and more. You will see that Baron come back like 2-3 times in a game, and there is nothing you can do about it. At the end of the game,
you can play Scoia'tael. You can play Skellige.
Okay.
If these things counter Baron, do you think that maybe they have something that's more broken than him?
No, because of how the game mechanics work as one card per turn. You're technically paying a toll to play a card, correct? Now, the toll for a Baron is it's one card for one turn to 30 strength plus turn 3. Yeah, that's how I feel.
I mean, I don't think you picked a horrible card, but I do think that Baron is pretty strong, and he's been strong for a really long time. In all fairness, Baron hasn't gotten hit by the nerf trains as hard as we would have expected. What happened? Botchling lost like one round of stayability. That was like Baron's nerf, and he got an indirect nerf, I guess, when Golding got hit. He's been sitting pretty for a long time. His broken card is Van Lugos. How do you ever win with it? I don't understand. It's broken.
Hey, that's not the way to answer the question. That's a really good way to answer the question. There you go.
I think it's probably a Gleiss. I think a Gleiss is too good. If you think versatility is a measure of how strong a card is, then a Gleiss has the most versatility. What are you going to do to stop a Gleiss from dominating you? You're going to remove things from the graveyard with Griffins? You have to take out... Not only do you have to take out your Airments, you have to take out whatever weather Airments you spawned. You have to take out Lacerator, you're going to get hammered. You have to take out everything. Like, even sometimes a Gleiss could come in and just first light to continue your chains. Like, her playability is through the roof. Like, I don't understand. Whenever an opponent plays a Johnny and gets a second of Gleiss, I just die on the inside.
Yeah, fair enough. I do agree that Gleiss is very strong, but I still have to stick with my first answer and say the Baron.
Okay, you'll stick with Baron, but you're Team Triss now?
No. Not Yen. Team Jen.
Team Jen. Jennifer Aniston, watch out, Manti is your fan.
Aye.
Okay, last question is from Aldo Jr. Aldo asks, when can we expect your face cam on Twitch, HG3?
Yeah, good question. We can expect it.
This seems like a very direct question towards me.
Actually, hang on. I got this, guys. As a close friend of HG3, I've seen him, and the scars it caused on my mind they still haven't helped. I had to move to Florida just to get away from there.
I wish I forced you to move further away than Florida, though. So I don't like having a face cam, but I do understand like face cams are pretty important for card games because card games are pretty boring to watch sometimes. If I'm being completely honest, if I'm looking for a streamer to watch, I'd probably rather they have a face cam. But at the same time, I think some of the best streamers on Twitch don't have face cams. I think it will allow more people to participate and focus on the content instead of it being more of a spectacle at times, like with me having reactions and stuff like that. I don't think face cams are bad by any means. I'm definitely liking them, but I'm not adamantly against it. I just don't really think it will make my streaming experience more enjoyable. And that's what I'm worried about right now. I want to have a long streaming career, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep myself happy. I'm a very temperamental person. I get tilted easily, you guys know. But if we, if a couple of years in the future there are events, and we get invited, Aldo, if you want to host an event in your backyard, a Gwent tournament, just invite me and Manti, and you want to take a camera and record us, we'll be there. But I don't really have any aversions. I've been on camera before when I was doing commentary, obviously, so I don't have any phobias or anything crazy. It's just, matter of comfort.
You should though.
Aldo followed up his ridiculous question with a more serious one. He wants to know about the pass mechanic. He apparently suggested on Discord to Rethas that perhaps the pass mechanic had changed, so it's more of an on hold instead of an auto pass. So meaning that plays like last turn on pass Milva wouldn't exist, because you'd be on hold, and then when the card comes back into your hand, all of a sudden you can play again. What do you think about it?
Look, I don't know if changing the mechanic of pass will help on the long run or will benefit at all, because only the developers know what kind of cards are coming in next, and it could change that.
No, but as is right now, would you change it?
I don't mind. I'm used to this, and I'm used to this. And the Milva pass, I think is a staple. And if you change a glaze, the Milva sending a card back to your hand is not as strong.
If you're on an auto pass, I think I'm fine with it right now. I think being on hold is kind of like a little cheesy. I do admit that it feels kind of dirty when your opponent's on an auto pass and you Milva their strongest unit back to their hand and you beat them that way. But at the same time, you held Milva for the whole game for that purpose, and they have to try and play around it. That might be a bigger issue to deal with, to do with those cards in particular, than to do with the mechanics. I think we should always look to the cards first if we were going to make changes instead of the mechanic, because I think the act of passing is kind of like an integral component of Gwent. At some point, your opponent's out of cards, and that should be it. I'd be more eager to see them change the cards if they found issue with them than to change the mechanic. If you don't like the way Milva's playing on an auto-pass opponent, then change the way Milva works. I think that's what I would edge for first. And if they can't resolve it that way, then maybe they look at it. But I don't think it's really a big issue. And Milva on an auto-pass opponent has to hit a 10 strength plus unit to get huge value at 18, and you have to hold the Milva for the whole time. So it's like, it's not, I don't really have an issue with it for whatever reason, Aldo. Sorry, can't help you out on this one, buddy. Okay, that's going to be it for our Q&A. Thank you to everyone that sent in questions. Manti, what do you want to say to the people?
I just want to say thank you, and I'm very grateful to have you guys here and always listening and watching our videos. Thank you for your support, and we'll continue making great content with quality for you.
And if you stayed for the whole episode, you'll get to hear this little tidbit, secret announcement of an announcement. I learned that while I was at MLG.
Oh, I like that.
Announcements.
Good.
Yeah, it builds and then subsequently kills all the hype in one swift move,
It's critical strike right there, dude.
We are going to have an announcement on Friday about Gwent City, and we're really excited about this, so we hope you guys share in our excitement, and that's all I can say now. So I'm actually I'm actually grinning in real life right now as I say this, because I realize how horrible it is to say that.
Let me translate, guys. I got a secret And I'm not gonna say it into Friday.
Do you know what I know, Manty?
I think so.
Do I know what you know that you know that I know?
I think that you know what I know, that you know what I know.
Okay, guys, that's it for today. Thank you, guys. If you liked the video, make sure to like. If you are checking out our channel for the first time and you happen to this video, God bless your soul. And hopefully you can move past it to look at our content. It's been a little slow because we're waiting for a patch. When the patch comes out, expect a ton of stuff flooding out. And we've got some more good context in the community coming up in some of the videos. So we'll see you next time. Until then, take care.